Pennsylvania. This is AG Chopsticks coming to you on your YouTube dial. Wanted to give you a week in review for the week ending July 27th. And it's been a rough week for your man, AG Chopsticks. I've gone through a lot of rolls this week. The picture you're seeing on your screen, that's the count of what banks had what rolls. I will call them different days to see who has what and different routes going home. We had one roll on Wednesday. It was a dud. Thursday was looking great. Your man AG Chopsticks was so excited. 53 rolls, 53 customer wrapped rolls I could go and pick up. But regretfully, they were rewraps. Now, before I went up and drove to this location, I did ask, hey, are those, rewrapped in vault wraps? Or no, she's like, no, they're brown wrappers. Well, what I failed to ask was, were they one person's rolls? So, yes, in a little small town, $500 worth of customer rewraps from a fellow coin roll hunter. Hey, lesson learned. That's okay. I'm still going to keep doing it even when you have a bad week. And by a bad week, I do mean a bad week. So out of 53 rolls on Thursday and one roll on Wednesday, so we've got 54 rolls of customer wrapped. We do have one find, one single find, and it is a 40%er, a 1968 40%er. So not what I'm used to finding in customer wrapped rolls, but that's okay. It's still a find. I'm still going to keep doing it. Patience does pay off. It's not a matter of if, but when. So eventually it's going to happen for me, just not this week. But at least it wasn't a skunk. I did have one silver. So, I'm like, you know what? I'm not having a good week. I'm going to try vault wrap rolls. And as you can see by the picture on your screen, I went through a lot of rolls. I went through 3 different boxes of halves. I even went through a box of dimes just for giggles. By the way, I will never do it again. These hands and dimes do not mix. I felt like Andre the Giant when he was wrestling back in the WWF days, towering over everybody else. That's how my hands felt with dimes. I'm done with dimes. Also tried 2 boxes of quarters to no avail. I even did a box of nickels. So yeah, your man AG Chopsticks is going to stick with halves and maybe quarters. I've never found anything in quarters, but you never know what's going to happen. I have honestly not seen a single person posting online that they found W's in quarter boxes in Minnesota. So I might still look at those. I'm going to probably concentrate on halves. It was such a rough week for your man AG. I was even looking at NIFCs. I don't collect NIFCs anymore. I've got my sets. So I looked through them, just to say, yes, I had a find. I had a find. Look, there's a find. Whatever. NIFCs, you know what? They're going back to the bank. I even had such a rough week. I was looking through 1982, 83, etc., for no FGs. Yes, your man AG was looking for some errors. Alas, didn't find any. It wasn't a horrible week on those boxes. Wasn't a horrible week. I did pick up a couple of proofs in the customer wrapped rolls. So here we've got a 2009 S. And yes, I am going to be working on my webcam here in the next month. So I did find there's a proof find and a 2001 S. They're clads. They're not silvers. You can see by the edge there. But you know what? I found some proofs. I'll keep them. I can sell those for about $1 a piece online. I'm going to keep them. I also did find in one box 2 40%ers, 1967, 1968. So we do have some more silver in the box. So it wasn't a skunk week. It wasn't a skunk week whatsoever. We added 3 40%ers and a couple of proofs to the stack. On Friday when I was dropping off my half dollars, my sadness boxes, I'll call it this week, at my local bank, I looked at my teller's tray, one of my favorite tellers, and she had some stuff for me. That's why it's really important to be nice to your tellers. I'm actually going to probably give some dilly bars. Yes, I work for a place that has dilly bars, um, to some of my favorite banks next week, just as a sign of appreciation. And it's always nice when they pull out from their tray, hey, AG, I was saving these for you, some 40 percenters. So we got two more 40 percenters to add. So, we added for $2.50 this week. We did add some silver to the pile. So adding silver is always nice. Didn't pay extra on it. She also had an Ike. It is not a silver Ike. It is just a clad Ike. But again, I can turn these over on Mercari. I'll post a link in the comments below about Mercari again. If you've never checked it out, you can pick up some great deals. A couple of my fellow YouTubers and friends online have gotten some great deals. I've gotten a couple. I've actually sold some things on there, but I can turn these over on Mercari. So I'm going to pick it up when I find them. By the way, if you've never used Mercari before, that link below will give you 10% off. All right. And it also was a pretty nice week as well. I had, my son is a Boy Scout. I was out at Boy Scout camp with him last week, and one of the other dads is a coin collector, and I ended up, not many people have those silver reals that I had. You guys have all seen my silver reals, and yes, Big T coins, if you're watching, we'll figure something out. So, my silver reals from when I went to Saudi Arabia with International Stacker, I gave him one of these, that other scout dad, because, I know he didn't have it. So I gave him a real. And he's like, what? You didn't have to do that. I'm like, you know what? It's my gift to you. One silver stacker to another. And when we dropped off the kids this last weekend to go to summer camp, he's like, AG, I've got something for you. It didn't feel right you just giving me that silver, so here, I've got a silver for you. He gave me a 1963 Benji, and this is in BU condition. Once I get my webcam going better, maybe I'll show it off again, but I mean, there is not a scratch, there is not a blemish on this 63. It is gorgeous. So you know what? Being kind to other stackers pays off. He took care of me on this because I took care of him. So, that's a beautiful 1963 Benji that I'm adding to my collection this week. So, it wasn't a horrible week in silver. We've got some ads. And yes, there is an AG Chopsticks channel sticker. Got it off of the internet for Sticker Monkey for $1 for 10 just to see. So, yay, there is one. I've got 10 of them, limited edition. But you know what? Mrs. Chopsticks hates it. So maybe in the future, if this keeps going the way it's going, we might get a better one. But you know what? This was not the silver week that I'm used to. It's not a skunk. We added some silver. From a combination of customer wraps, bank wraps, and teller trays, we added some silver. So all in all, good week we can add silver to your stack. But you know what? It wasn't the week I'm used to. And what happens when you do that? Well, you get a little LCS time in. So Great Lakes Coin and Collectibles here in Burnsville, Minnesota, my local LCS. Tell you about it more in a minute. I'm going to run inside and take care of that silver itch. So yeah, that is my favorite LCS in the Twin Cities Metro, Minneapolis, St. Paul. If anybody out there has an LCS they think is better, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to go visit them. I visited 5 or 6 in the Twin Cities, and that LCS, I'll actually put a link to their website in the description below. This is not a paid advertisement. This is just my favorite LCS in the Twin Cities, best prices and all that. So go check them out. Or if you've got a better one, let this man know. Yeah, I had to get my retail therapy on. And you saw that I went out with International Stacker to the coin shop in Saudi Arabia, and they're looking for Morgans. So I had to get my retail therapy on. A couple of pickups before I get to the Morgans. This probably is my favorite ounce that exists. I'm trying to get it out of the light there. Picked up from him a couple of Libertads. I do love the Libertad. So I picked up a couple from him of the older ones. I've got some newer ones, but I had to pick up an 83 and an 84 Libertad in good shape. Yeah, I paid him $20 a pop for these, a little bit over spot, but that's a really good price on Libertads. So I picked two of them up. But what I also picked up, and I'm going to try and adjust something here really quick because that glares a little high there. All right, let's see how this goes. That guy in Saudi Arabia wants Morgans. So I went out and I picked up some Morgans. And he has actually 5 different bins at his place, starting anywhere from $17 to $30. So these are the $20 bin at that coin shop that I just showed you. But these are amazingly beautiful, and they're not clean that I can tell. This one is an 1880. Then we got an 96, an 89. And by the way, this is why I'm wearing gloves. An 1885 and an 1886. These are all just gorgeous coins. I mean, I know it's hard to tell on that webcam. I need to get a better one, but just look at that coin. It is an amazing shape for being as old as it is. So, I had my retail therapy on. I spent part of my sales from, a sale on Mercari of the customer wrapped rolls, and I picked up some Morgans to use as trade in Saudi Arabia to get some Saudi gold. So yeah, these are what I've been looking for lately. Is looking for Morgans pre-1900 because that's what that LCS wants. So I got my retail therapy on, and I'll have them join the pile I already have in hand of Morgans. So these are actually these are all ones I picked up from him just to have. These are by far my best looking ones. These came out of his $17 bin. So you got an 89, 80, and 96. These are all good shape. These ones are starting to get a little down further in the grading scale. It's still nice to have an 1891 New Orleans in decent shape there. Starting to get a little coloration. 1890 with some good toning on it. And this is a San Francisco. So got some decent toning on that one. So starting to get there. And a couple of not as nice, a little more call, 81 and 86 just to have. New Orleans, and this one's a Philadelphia. So that's my whole little pile here that I'm getting ready to take with me to the Middle East when I go next. Hopefully trade up these silver dollars here into Saudi gold. So I'm getting there. Looking for those Morgans, keeping my eye out. So if anybody has a good recommendation on an LCS, please let me know. I'm looking for pre-1900 Morgans. I do have a couple here, and actually some of these came from my friends online. Beautiful 1921 there. That one is, again, great shape. All her hair is there. All the feathers are on the eagle. So really great shape 21 and a kind of beat up 21. But, when you're paying, this one I only paid $14 for. A couple of these in this bin here that we just saw, they're not all from the LCS. Those actually were $14 or $15 as well. So we're starting to get there on some decent looking Morgans just to have them and take them to the Middle East. So yeah, I got my retail therapy on with some Morgans, some Libertads. So that was my week, guys. Am I going to give up on customer wrap rolls? No. Am I going to give up searching through vault wrap rolls? No. Remember, the whole concept is patience will pay off. There are days that some of the big streamers are skunked. There's days some of the big streamers have amazing days. My patience, it will pay off. Your patience, it will pay off. It's not a matter of if, but when. May all your stacking dreams come true, and have a great day out there. Thanks for watching.